Welcome to the Ginto show, guys. My name is Car Ginto, and here with me today is no one. This podcast is for the excellent and expert analyses by myself about various pop culture and societal topics, interviews, and opinions. Indulge. Hello, everyone. This is my Oscars 2020 prediction show. So why do I do these predictions? I did one 2 years ago, I believe. It's because I'm really into movies, and my brother and I done one I think 2 years ago when we first started the podcast. For me, I think Oscars are really important in terms of showcasing prestigious movies, whatever that could mean to you. Of course, all art is subjective, like most choices and decisions also can be subjective. Movies in particular are subjective. And the Oscars, of course, like most things like sports, they can be contrived and manipulated. And there's a lot of details going into that could determine someone who can win or not. But most part, or in the most for most cases, the best movie usually does win, the best actor usually does win, but of course there are politics when it comes to that. The Oscars this year is on February 9th, 2020, and I believe last week, yes, in the beginning of the week, on January 13th, 7 in the morning, I saw this at the gym. They announced the nominations for the Oscars. For Best Picture, I've seen all those movies, so I can really get not in depth, but I can really say what I feel is the best, but then who I think is going to win as well. Let's start off with the best visual effects. Nominated are The Avengers Endgame, The Irishman, The Lion King, 1917, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. For me, I've seen all these movies. Avengers Endgame should win, but 1917 I believe will win, because if you see that movie, it's how it's shot, which is called the cinematography, how it looks, and how it is all put on the screen. You can see how much the visual effects contribute to that. Of course, Endgame has a bunch of aliens and action going on. So for me, it's either 1917 or Endgame. But I will give the nod to Endgame, possibly because they are not nominated for anything else for the Oscars. If not, it would probably go to 1917 if it's not Endgame. Next is Best Film Editing. Ford v. Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, and Parasite. For me, I'd go with Ford v. Ferrari for best film editing. This is due to the car racing scenes and the action that is showcased in that movie. Ford v. Ferrari has a lot of cutscenes when it comes to different cars and individuals driving them. It's fast paced. I think Ford v. Ferrari has what it takes to win this award. If not Ford v. Ferrari, I see Joker or Irishman to win this. Next, Best Costume Design. Nominated are The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. For me, I believe Little Women should win. It's a period piece, so it takes place, I believe, in the 1800s. Um, a lot a lot is goes into costumes, especially for time pieces like that, like time periods of that old age. Um, they really showcase between the rich and the poor and middle class when it comes to the costume design in those movies, which is evident, especially back in the day and those early days where fashion, what you wear, you can really see uh, class and how much money someone has or a family has. And in Little Women, they showcase that a lot, and how within the story it shows that what you wear really um, showcases uh, your prestige. And I hope they win Best Costume. If not, Jojo Rabbit might win, due to that taking place in the 40s in Germany or in France, maybe. Um, yeah, Little Women or Jojo Rabbit. Best makeup and hairstyling: Bombshell, Joker, Judy, Maleficent, and 1917. Best makeup. This could go to Maleficent. The other movies all take place in basically real, um, real accurate places in time. Like Joker takes place in the 80s. Judy takes place, I believe, in the 60s or 70s. 1917 takes place, obviously, in 1900s. And Bombshell takes place in the early 2000s. Um, Best hair and makeup. I mean, I like the hair in 1917, but it's basically just crew cuts. um, Maleficent is the most fantasy like, and I think that might win. Um, Everything else, I mean, they are period pieces, but this doesn't take. I mean, best makeup, not much goes on there. In those movies, in Bombshell, Charlize Theron does look like Megan Kelly. I mean, she can get nominated for that, I guess, or she can win for that maybe. I'm really putting this on Maleficent, I guess, because the fantasy element takes a lot for um, makeup and hairstyling. Um, Emphasizes that in that movie for sure. So yeah, Maleficent or Bombshell, I believe. Wow, I like this next category: best cinematography. Nominated are The Irishman, Joker, The Lighthouse, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What do I have here? I really like Joker cinematography, but I do feel 1917 will win. Um, the camera shots, the cinematography, how the whole movie looks is phenomenal in 1917. I mean, it's not really a gimmick. It kind of is though, being one shot, quote unquote, one shot looking. Um, yeah, I think Roger Deakins might win. He does have great cinematography. He did Blade Runner 2049. He did Arrival, I believe. He did Sicario, I believe. And those movies look phenomenal. And 1917 doesn't lack in that. So I think 1917 or Joker for me. But 1917 with the slight edge. By the way, I've seen 95% of the movies I just mentioned. I haven't seen Maleficent or Judy, and that's the only one for, and The Lighthouse, I guess. Next is Best Production Design: The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. I believe Once Upon a Time should win this. They actually went to the real sites in Hollywood, in LA, but they made it to fit the time in the 70s. Um, 60s or 70s, I think that's when it takes place. So I'm going for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They actually did construction in a busy part of LA just to make it look uh, in that time period. So I'm going with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Next is Best Sound Editing. Ad Astra, Ford v Ferrari, Joker, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is like a whatever a pick, whatever anything could win. I guess for me, Ford v Ferrari should win because of all the racing and action involved in that movie. Yeah, Ford v Ferrari. Best sound editing. To be honest, I don't know the difference between the two, but nominated are Ford v Ferrari, Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. It's rare that it goes to the same movie, so I guess I'll pick something different. 1917, because it takes place in a war, and yeah, there's a lot of things going on when it comes to sound in that movie, so 1917. Either one of these categories can switch between two. I think Ford v Ferrari or 1917 will win one of those. Next is Best Original Song from Toy Story 4. I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away. From Rocket Man, I'm Gonna Love Me Again. From Breakthrough, I'm Standing With You. From Frozen 2, Into the Unknown. And from Harriet, Stand Up. I know my choice is Into the Unknown. Frozen 2, great movie. Love all the songs in that movie. Not my favorite in the movie. Lost in the Woods is my favorite in Frozen 2, but that didn't get nominated. But yeah, I'm pulling for Frozen 2 to win this. That or I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocket Man by Elton John. That's probably the favorite. So it's either those two, but I feel they're going to give it to Elton John in this one. Next, Best Original Score, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Joker's going to win this. Joker won the Golden Globes. The person who wrote the score, Hildur, I can't pronounce her last name though. She has been winning all the awards thus far in award season, so Joker should be a lock on this one. And I agree because one of the things that I noticed first in the movie is the score and cinematography, and then Joaquin Phoenix's performance, because it starts off with a beautiful shot for the cinematography, and then the score just it sticks with you. I listened to the actual album when it came out on Spotify, and you can picture the scenes in your head when it comes to the music in that movie. So Joker should win that. Best animated short. I haven't seen any of these, so I won't give my opinion. That and best live action short film haven't seen any of those. Best documentaries. I haven't seen any of them. I've seen a lot of documentaries, just not these ones, so won't have uh, my opinion on those. Next is Best International Feature Film. This is gonna go to Parasite. This is the movie. This is the only movie I've seen from this bunch, and Parasite actually has a chance to win Best Picture for all the Oscars. So, I mean, this should be hands down the best international film. So, Parasite should win that. But just to name the nominees, you got Corpus Christi from Poland, Honeyland from Turkey, Les Miserables from France, and Pain and Glory from Spain. Best Animated Feature. This is one of the categories that did have a snub, I believe. Let's name the nominees first. How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, I Lost My Body, Klaus, I bet. Missing Link, and Toy Story 4. The snub is Frozen 2. That movie's great. I guess having two Disney movies. They gave the push to Toy Story 4 because of the legacy, of course. And I do think Toy Story 4 is a better movie. My favorite movie out of them was How to Train Your Dragon. Uh, but Missing Link did win the Golden Globe, but I haven't seen that. I've only seen How to Train Your Dragon and Toy Story 4. I might give it to How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. Um, love that movie. I do love Toy Story 4, but the first three, I believe, won Oscars, so they might not give it to this one. Um, but yeah, let's go with Hidden World for that. If not, Toy Story 4. Best adapted screenplay. Adapted screenplay basically means it's based off some previous material that was created. Could be a book, comic, or a previous character. Nominated are The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and Two Popes. Best adapted. Um, I want it to be Joker, but since it's just based on the character named Joker, elements of the character, not even exactly the character, it might not win. Jojo Rabbit probably will win, or The Irishman, but I'm leaning towards Jojo Rabbit to win this one. Yeah. Next is best original screenplay. Knives Out, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. The best original screenplay, best written. I'm gonna go with Knives Out in this one, uh, just because of the mystery element, the whodunit element. You don't really know what's gonna happen in that movie, and that I feel that gives the edge to the rest of them. Once Upon a Time was really surprising as well. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Knives Out on this one. Uh, Strong category. Any of these could win, but I think Knives Out could uh, take this one for sure. Next is Best Supporting Actress. Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, Laura Dern for Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh in Little Women, and Margot Robbie for Bombshell. Um, these snubs for this. Well, let's name the nominees first. Kathy Bates. I think I did that. I said that already. Anyway, um, snubs for Best Supporting. Jennifer Lopez not getting nominated for Hustlers. Nicole Kidman not getting nominated for Bombshell. I think she was so much better than Margot Robbie. People are saying Farewell. The grandma on that should have been nominated. But Laura Dern has been winning most of the awards for Best Supporting Actress, so I believe Laura Dern will win. She is excellent in that movie. Other than the two mains, she really carries the dramatic divorce lawyer scenes in this movie. So Laura Dern, I believe she'll win that. That or Florence Pugh. Florence is great in Little Women. She's basically a co-star in that movie, or she is obviously because she's supporting. But yeah, I'm going for Laura Dern though. Next is Best Supporting Actor. Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Anthony Hopkins, The Two Popes, Al Pacino, The Irishman, Joe Pesci, The Irishman, and Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Snubs are any of the actors in any of the two actors, Christian Bale and Matt Damon for Ford v Ferrari. One of them should have got nominated. They both could either be the starring or supporting, depending how you see that movie. Um, but Brad Pitt has been winning most of the awards for this award season. And after seeing it a second time, Brad Pitt is the best actor in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, even over Leo. He really stole the show. So I'm giving it to Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Best Actress nominated are Cynthia Erivo for Harriet, Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger for Judy. The only movie I haven't seen this was Judy, but I have read that Renee is the female version of what Joaquin Phoenix does in Joker, so like a lock in winning, and she has been winning the acting awards um, for this category. So Renee Zellweger is probably going to win. Like I mentioned before, Best Actor nominated are Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, and Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes. Joaquin Phoenix has this locked. Um, Joker's my favorite movie of the year. He's my favorite performance, probably in a long time. After finished seeing that movie, I really truly believed it was one of the best acting performances I've ever seen. He's phenomenal in that movie. Close second will be Adam Driver. He is an incredible actor. His performance in Marriage Story, if it wasn't for Joker, it wasn't for Joaquin Phoenix, Adam Driver would win. That's the only thing stopping him that would give him the award. But Joaquin Phoenix has this on lock. Next, Best Director. This has garnered a bunch of criticism. This category. Nominated, though, are Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, Todd Phillips for Joker, Sam Mendes for 1917, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. The controversy is that there was no female nominees. These are all male. I believe everything that should be nominated in Best Picture should get an Oscar nomination for director. I truly believe Greta Gerwig should get nominated. It should have got a nomination in this category. What she did in Little Women truly deserved getting a nomination because I have seen all those movies. Um, but yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda. What I do think, but who I do think is gonna win is Sam Mendes for 1917. He has won the Golden Globe. He's been winning the other awards this season. 1917 is an achievement in filmmaking. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it really is. If you've seen that movie, I'm not the hugest fan of that movie. I think it's entertaining, and then like the concept is stands out rather than the story. Um, but yeah, uh, due to that, Sam Mendes will probably win. If not, Todd Phillips uh, could get that because it's not just Joaquin's performance; it's also the whole movie that caught my attention. So Sam Mendes and then Todd Phillips for runner-up. Next is Best Picture: Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. What I think is gonna win is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Uh, what I want to win is Joker. Um, the most likely thing, though, 1917, because it's the most safe. It is a war film, which the Academy usually gives. 1917 or Once Upon a Time, I believe. I'm gonna give it a slight edge to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Those are all the nominations, but I'm gonna rank the Best Picture from my favorite, my personal favorite. I posted this a while ago, but let me see if I still have it. Shit. Yeah, I lost it, but I'm gonna just look at the list and then see what my favorites are. So yeah, Joker for me is number one. Um, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is two. Ford v Ferrari's three. Little Women's 4, Marriage Stories 5, The Irishman 6, 1917 7, Parasite 8, 9, Jojo Rabbit. But yeah, those are all my Oscar predictions. Let me know if you want someone wants to get into in depth about these movies or any movie in a episode. Um, I'll be releasing my wrestling show / podcast on Saturday. Um, but yeah, let me know what you guys want to listen to. If you want specific guests, if you want me to collaborate with another podcast, either in Winnipeg or somewhere else. If you got the hookups, let me know. I will do my plugs. Let me find that first. My Instagram is Carginto. Snapchat is Carutray. Find me on Facebook, Carginto. The podcast is available on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, and basically all other podcast platforms. Yeah, I'll see you guys on Saturday for my wrestling recap of the week. And yeah, this is the Ginto Show Oscars 2020 predictions. See you guys later. Peace.